Yes, friends. Hello, hello, hello from Guangzhou, China. So excited to be here today. And before we get into all this excitement, please let me know right away if you can see me okay, if you can hear me okay. I hope I have a good connection today, because if you've been to China, you know how many slight hiccups you may be working with. Okay, I see a latest message from Noli. I don't see anybody else so far, even though there's 43 people in the chat here. Please work. From Noli, I see once again local time there, 9:03 Saturday night. Yes, it is. Okay, now we got another message coming in. Shayla. Okay, we got David. All right, they're coming in. Yeah, please, guys, let me know. I think there was like a little bit of a hold there. All right, we got Michael. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. We got Neil from Crete. Bobby from Bulgaria. We got GI from Sydney, Australia. Okay, good. Now the messages are coming in. Zdraste, Alina, 904 from Etobicoke. Amazing. We got Claude from Montreal. Jim Ross, thank you so much for coming out, and thank you so much for the PayPal. As always, thank you so much for your support. I hope you're gonna like the live stream today. Bob from Florida, fantastic. We got Peter, an Aussie in Indonesia. Nadeem from Ajax, Ontario. Okay, amazing. All right, we got so many people in here. I am so excited, guys. This is my first live stream from China, and I did keep it a bit of a secret, unless you were in my Patreon, where I was going after Sri Lanka, because this is, a very big trip to take. It's not the kind of place that you can just decide to go to tomorrow, right? Most people need a visa for China. And I guess even before we get into things, just a quick background how I got here, and also why I decided to come here. Because I did only decide for sure about 3 months ago. Initially, I was just going to do Southeast Asia on my trip, but then I just had this sort of like feeling that on this trip, I need to visit China. I'm a very intuitive person, and when I get this inner message that that's something that I'm supposed to do, and it makes sense logically, got to get the logistics in there, I try and make it happen. So I got the idea that, okay, on this trip, I would like to do that. But how do I do that? Because usually to apply for a Chinese visa, I thought that you had to apply from your home country, which for me would be Canada. But then I remembered my friend Kaya, who's also a YouTuber. She went last year and got her tourist visa in Bangkok, in Thailand. So I was like, well, if she can do it, with a European passport, then I assume Canadians should be able to. And sure enough, thankfully, I was able to get my tourist visa, but it took effort, guys. If you're thinking of coming to China and you need a visa, just know there's more than likely going to be a lot of paperwork. You need to book your tickets and accommodation ahead of time. You have to go for an in-person meeting, as I did, in Bangkok. But luckily, overall, once I had all the paperwork done, it wasn't, that bad. And I was approved within about 4 days and got my passport back. So as not easy as it was, it also wasn't extremely difficult. It's just the type of thing that you need to plan in advance with. So that was, the first point. And yeah, second point, of course, I have wanted to go to China for quite a while because I feel like this is such a big superpower in the world. It's a country that is changing so much, and you know, of course, there's going to be many opinions either way. If some people, you know, think one way, think or another about China, I wanted to actually come here myself to form my own impression. But what I wanted to also do that was like a little different than what most tourists do, instead of just going to Beijing and China and Beijing and Shanghai and the Great Wall of China, what I meant to say, I wanted to go to destinations that weren't as well known to tourists anyway as those. And also I wanted it to be a bit warmer. So I focused more on like the central to southern part of the country. So I am currently in Guangzhou, and this is a city of 15 million people. It's actually like right kind of across the way from Hong Kong. It's a very important trading post, and of course the biggest sort of attraction that this city has is twice a year they have the Canton Fair, which is this like huge, like I can't even describe to you the scale of how big this trade fair is, where people from all over the world come here for it. So I'm not here in that time. I think it would be a little bit too crazy actually for me to come in that time, but that is what Guangzhou is most well known for. So that is my introduction. I will tell you guys as the stream goes on some of the other destinations that I have in mind in China. But first, I have something super cool to show you guys. I'm here on Beijing Road, this really cool pedestrian area in downtown Guangzhou, and it looks pretty stunning at night with everything lit up. So let me flip the camera here for you. All right, are ya ready? Are ya ready? Look at that. Right? Absolutely stunning. This is one of the most famous Buddhist temples in the whole city. It's called Dafo Buddhist Temple, and the architecture is just incredible, and it's also very big. I think we can still go inside. I was here earlier filming, but it looks like people are still going in, and I think I can film in there. So if you guys want, we can definitely go check that out. But first, just take a look at this, right? Just lights everywhere, people everywhere. It is Friday night. No, thank you. And we got malls everywhere. So many malls if you love to shop like I do. I mean, China is just a shopper's paradise. So yeah, there is a lot going on in this area. Also, I want to say, so far, right, my connection is actually pretty damn good here. I'm shocked because I'm obviously on a VPN, and I was a little bit worried about the connection speed, but this is pretty good, right? Is the connection okay for you guys? Oh, hello to Costas World of Music Memories. Hello to Jim, Harriet, and Yuki. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Amazing. We got Kang Lim from Singapore. We got Chris from Boston. Thank you so much for coming out. All right. Yeah, connection is good. Okay, fantastic. I'm very happy to hear that, because even though when I first got here, I was super happy that my eSIM from Airlo was working. That was, you know, the first thing that I was happy about. The eSIM worked as soon as I got here, and it was a pretty good connection. Like, it was a 4G connection, And initially I didn't have any problems with it, but it was on the third day that I was here that it went out for a good 40 minutes. And I just didn't know what to do. Like, thankfully it came back on, and then it would kind of go out, come back, go out, come back for shorter intervals. But obviously for a live stream, I need a steady connection. So that's why I decided to go with a local SIM card from China Mobile. That's what I got today. And obviously the connection is much, much better. So I'm glad that for this live stream, I'm hopefully going to be able to give you guys a steady connection while showing this city. Let me just stand in the corner here to be able to pan for you guys. Isn't it pretty? Yeah, it's definitely incredible architecture. Just Travel asks, do you feel that China has the biggest population? I mean, you feel it. You definitely feel it. I'm not even in, the biggest city in the country, and it's especially during rush hour. That's when I feel the population, that it's just so many people. But having said that, oh, this is cool. This is interesting. Beautiful statue. What was I gonna say? Right, so they actually have pretty good crowd control, I would say. Like in the metro, for example, there's like so many security guards that is kind of like directing everybody and getting everybody into lines. Thankfully, nobody is pushing or shoving. That would be scary in a big crowd of people. So I think because, you live in a place with that kind of population, you have to find the best way to deal with it. So far, it's been fine crowd-wise, but it is overwhelming if you're not used to it. So this is the first inner part of the temple. The part behind me, I know I am actually not supposed to film, so I'm just gonna take you guys around to this other side. Right. Oh wow, we already have 200 people on this live stream. Amazing. Nightwing asks, more crowded than Tokyo. Well, Tokyo is technically twice the population that Guangzhou is, or even more. Tokyo's what, 32 or 36? I can't remember. Million people. So of course Tokyo actually has a higher population, but same thing as here. It's in rush hour that you really feel it. The other times of the day when everybody's at work in the office buildings, it's not that bad. But take a look at this. Wow. It's so pretty. And then in here is this really, I don't know what it's made out of, but it almost looks like almost porcelain or something, this beautiful wall. Let me just go to the side here. Like, look at this. Really, really beautiful. And still, this is not all. There's even more. There's a whole back section to it. One sec, guys. Yes, poly skirt, I would definitely agree. It's very different from Sri Lanka. And by the way, if I didn't already say it, I did really, really, really enjoy my time in Sri Lanka. Wow. Look at this, friends. So stunning. 3 golden Buddhas. Wow. From my understanding, the 3 dominant religions in China is number 1, Confucianism, number 2, Taoism, and number 3, Buddhism. Correct me if I'm wrong, any locals, but I think that that's what I read online and I'm reiterating correctly. How do I get out of here? Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is the back portion of the temple, right? Like, look at this. What else is super cool is that you have, the traditional, ancient style of architecture mixed with neon lights, modern buildings. It's kind of cool to have the two so close together. Like there really isn't a break in between, both styles of architecture here. It's like right in the heart of the city, which is so cool. Oh, thank you so much to Costas World of Music Memories, Harriet, Jim, and Yuki. Thank you guys so much for the super chat, as always. Connection looking good. Will you go to the Emperor Qin Shi Huang Mausoleum Site Museum with the Terracotta Army collection? Unfortunately not. There is, so many things I would have loved to see in China on this trip, but it's just such a big country that it's gonna take a really long time to see everything. Even in a year, I don't think I'd make that much of a dent. So unfortunately on this trip I'm not going to be going there. I think that's more in the north, right? Because the areas that I'm going to be concentrating on is like central to south, just for proximity's sake, and also for the fact that it's warmer, right, in the central to south than it is in the north. Like right now in Beijing, I think it's like 5 degrees. I would have to buy a whole new wardrobe to deal with that. And then I'm going to Bali after China, so I would have to then get I would have to get all my summer clothes then again. So I just feel like it's a bit wasteful to switch out wardrobes that much. And I think it'd be nicer to visit Beijing and Shanghai in like late springtime when it's a bit warmer, because y'all know I don't like the cold that much. So the areas that I'm going to is obviously Guangzhou. The second one, I know I'm gonna butcher it. I really should learn how to pronounce it. Zhejiangji. There was somebody who said it properly, and I'm trying to remember how they said it. It wasn't like that, but it's the Avatar Mountains. Like it's the mountains that were that inspired the scenery in the movie Avatar. So it's an absolutely stunning area. As soon as I saw pictures of it, I knew that that's like one of the places that I wanted to go on this trip. From there, I'll be going to Chongqing because I have some friends there. After that, I'm going to be going to see the pandas. I'm going to go see the pandas. I'm so excited. In a way, honestly, that's like literally like top three things that I wanted to do in China included pandas. So of course you have to go to Chengdu for that. And then after Chengdu, I'm going to Kunming. And initially I didn't have that planned. Initially I wanted to go just to Lijiang, which is like a beautiful mountain village. But I realized that there's no direct trains in between those two places. You have to stop in Kunming. So I was like, okay, in that scenario, I may as well actually stop in Kunming and take a look around that area because it's supposed to be very interesting as well. So that is what I have planned for this month. It's actually a lot of destinations compared to the pace that I'd usually like to travel at, but I'm trying my best to like see as much as possible while I'm here, and then when I get to Bali I will just like chill and edit. So that is the plan. So thank you so much, Harriet, Jim, and Yuki, for the super chat. Thank you guys for your support, as always. I'm gonna read your comments, so I'm gonna flip the camera and give you guys a great view. Oh man, so lots of good questions here. And yes, Noli, actually I guess you are correct. Technically, Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism are not the regular sort of religions. They're more philosophies. Some people have referred to them as religions, but I agree that philosophies is probably the more proper term. Let's see. Okay, I'll start with the first question I see as I show you guys around, by Kamasuda. Alina, is it harder to communicate in public being an English speaking, or can one communicate effectively in China? Well, first off, obviously, if you guys couldn't already tell, I do not speak Chinese. I know how to say hello and thank you, and that's about it. I would like to learn more. So as far as communicating in English, here in Guangzhou anyway, there have been very few English speakers, like a handful, I would say. First person was at Starbucks. Second person that I talked to was at my hotel. Third person was a guy who just like came down and sat at my table in a restaurant I was eating, and like, you know, asked me, oh, what are you doing here? And it was really nice, actually. And then one other person who kind of stopped me on the street to, you know, have a chat. So yeah, less than half a dozen people that I've come across so far have really spoken English. So of course, in that scenario, you really have to depend on the translation apps, which have gotten me through so far. But to be honest, like for so many things, it's kind of self-explanatory how it works. And thankfully, the transport system also has an English, you know, translation written on there. Alipay, you know, the payment app, thankfully there's an English version and everything's spelled out for you. So the basics are more or less self-explanatory. But of course, if you had to ask a local for directions or some kind of more, I don't know, peculiar question, sure, you may struggle with that. But that's here in Guangzhou. Like from my understanding, if you go to Beijing and Shanghai, there's a lot more English speakers. And second of all, there's a lot more foreigners in those places. Because here in Guangzhou, let's see, how about you guys maybe count or somebody keep track how many foreigners we see on this, you know, live stream. I guarantee you, probably even less than half a dozen, but maybe if there's like a group of foreigners, let's just say a dozen. For sure, there will be less than a dozen foreigners in this hour-long live stream wandering around thousands of people. I can guarantee you that, because almost everywhere I have went, I have been the only obvious foreigner. Yeah. All right, take one more look at this stunning temple before we head on out. Oh, they closed the exit. How do we get out? How do we get out? Let's see here. I guess through this way. Before they had the exit here, so I was just a bit confused. All right. All right. Second question I quickly see from Alex. Do you see any similarities with any other Asian cities? That's a good question. I mean, probably the closest that I've personally been to is Tokyo, you know, because that is, well, the biggest city in the world. And it's also very modern, has like, you know, really crazy technology, because that's the first thing, like my first impression. Oh, look at this, how cool. That was my first, like, you know, culture shock in China, is that like, oh my god, like it is so modern, you know, it's got stuff that we don't have in Canada, and yeah, it's just, you know, on a different level, and that's the way I look at Tokyo. So I would say out of all the cities that I've been to, Tokyo would be the closest comparison that I have. Oh my god, I just love it. Like, that's such a cool sight, isn't it? I love that temple. So that would be my closest comparison. Michael says, I will go back to China this month, missing delicious foods. That is fair. Somebody else had also asked about food, so I guess let's kind of talk about that. So of course, I have already tried lots of food here that I really, really liked. Guangzhou is considered to be, oh my god, okay, count to two foreigners. Okay, two foreigners, guys. See, even that's shocking for me. Let's keep a tally. We got two obvious foreigners. What was I saying? Okay, so yeah, Guangzhou is the birthplace of Cantonese cuisine. And I'm not well versed enough to, you know, tell you, oh, second. Oh my gosh, okay. Maybe I'm gonna have to eat my words. There's more foreigners. Okay, there was 3. Oh my god, and there's one right there. Okay, they've all come out of the woodwork. All right, all the foreigners have come out of the woodwork. This is the most foreigners I've seen in the last 5 days. So we have 6. We have 6 foreigners, guys. Wow, shocking. Yeah, so it's very well known for Cantonese cuisine, and I've had, you know, some different kinds of dumplings. I've had like some stir-fried meat dishes, and some different kinds of like meat buns and stuff, and it's all been very good. But of course, there are certain, you know, foods that are very common in actual authentic Chinese cuisine that unfortunately I just don't see myself trying. Like some of the organ sort of foods, like dishes with blood, you know, like chicken feet kind of stuff. Like, I'm not that adventurous of a foodie, so I hate to disappoint you guys. That will not be in my vlogs. But the more, you know, basic kind of stuff, absolutely delicious. So if you're a foodie, and especially if you're an adventurous foodie, there is certainly so many different restaurants to choose from here in Guangzhou. Take a look at this. I don't know what this is exactly, but some kind of ruins, I think. What does that say? The entrance floor of the Song Gate. I actually didn't see this before. If anybody can tell me what this is, that would be great. Interesting. Reading your comments here, guys. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for the nice comment from Carolyn. Hello, Alina. Finally, I'm happy I get to join your live stream. I'm excited to see your videos from China. It's a country I wanted to visit. I'm a fellow female solo traveler currently in Chiang Mai. Amazing. And yes, you absolutely should visit China, especially, you know, speaking on being a solo female traveler and, you know, the biggest question that comes up a lot of times is safety. And we'll see, you know, if my opinion changes as the trip goes on. But from first impressions, I have felt very like at ease here in China safety-wise, because number one, there is cameras everywhere. That was like the other, I don't know why there's like a smoke machine. Interesting. Okay, we'll come back to that. So that was like my first kind of like culture shock, is so many cameras, like even more cameras than Singapore. I thought you were being like monitored in Singapore. No, like China takes it to a whole other level. And when you apply for a visa, like you get all of your biometrics taken, like your fingerprints, you know, they got your face captured, like they literally know where you are at all times. So very unlikely somebody's gonna go missing in China, which, you know, pros and cons, but I think it does really deter people from doing anything bad. So at all hours of the night, I would feel fully comfortable walking the main districts of Guangzhou. And last night I kind of did. I was out till like almost midnight. I was actually hanging out with a friend, and it was fine. Like it was absolutely fine walking, you know, everywhere at night by myself. You don't even really have anybody, you know, come up to you like creeper wise from my experience. And yeah, it's just constantly monitored. There's constantly people around, you know. I'd be shocked to find some kind of completely empty street in Guangzhou. I think there's literally just like people and businesses open at all hours of the night. So, you know, as a solo female traveler, I definitely feel at ease here, which is very, very nice. Just reading your comments here, guys. Oh, for sure there's a difference between Canadian Chinese food and local Chinese food. Absolutely there is. It's like we have a very westernized, you know, deep fried way of looking at Chinese food, I think, in Canada. Oh, a super chat from Flick Hunter. Congrats on making it to China to stream. Thank you so much, Flick. I'm very happy to, oh, sorry, I gotta just maneuver the traffic here. I'm very excited to be here, so thank you so much for the support. People at the back are staring at your camera. Yeah, you know, it's I don't know, it's weird. It's like I do get like stared at here, and maybe in a place like this where it's more social, you know, nighttime, you know, as I was coming here, you know, more people would come up to me and like, you know, try and have a chat or something. But when you're in the more like, I don't know, serious business districts and it's daytime, not only do most people not even really like stare at me, which is nice, you know, I don't really like to be stared at, but like everybody just minds their business. Like I haven't really had that many people come up to me and stuff, and I felt, you know, just not like one of the crowd, but you know, it's just like normal. I thought that with so few foreigners around I would get stared at more, but it hasn't really been the case. Right. I actually don't know what that building is with like the purple top on it over there. I don't know if I can go over there. I was actually going to take you guys another way first, but thought I'd show you here. To be honest, like even though I've spent some time in a few different districts of Guangzhou, I by no stretch of the imagination know this city well or know how different districts connect to each other. And if I didn't have Apple and Google Maps, like I would be lost. I'd be absolutely lost. But speaking of Apple Maps and Google Maps, Apple Maps works better. That is the better one that will actually have more places come up and also give you public transport directions, which is super important. Google Maps does not. It gives you no directions about like which train to take to get where. A lot of pins are missing from the map. I'm just in such a habit, you know, of using Google Maps because it is like my #1 go-to for how to get around a city. So that's honestly been one of the biggest challenges for me, is like not having access to a platform that can tell me, you know, the closest pharmacy is here. Here's like a list of all the top restaurants, you know, in your area. I know they have like their version of Google Maps here, but I haven't found the English translation of it. So in a way, I have just like done it the old-fashioned way, where I walk around and like see what's good. I don't have, you know, an app to tell me what's the best reviewed place. So yeah, for now, so yeah, for now I'm kind of just, you know, wandering around and seeing how things go. So if you guys know of like any app that has an English translation, like please let me know, because that would be very helpful. What do you mean, Alex, you haven't seen a McDonald's so far? They have so many McDonald's here. Actually, I wonder if their menu is different here. I imagine it is. Yeah, I actually haven't walked into a McDonald's, but of course they have lots here. Might actually be interesting to try it and see what differences there are. Oh, Gwen says download Daydo map. Okay. But it for sure has English, right? Because I've downloaded other ones that, like, yeah, it's fine in Chinese, but I, you know, can't do anything with it. Oh my God. Okay. I think we have seen 12 foreigners. I'm absolutely shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. Like, coming here, I didn't see maybe more than like a couple of foreigners, and we've for sure seen 12 by now. So that's actually shocking. So there are foreigners here. That's funny. Oh, I got some lovely YouTuber friends in the chat. Thank you so much to the Jet Lag Warriors for coming out, who are also just in China recently. Hey Alina, how is China? Doesn't it feel like a completely different world where you feel completely foreign? Have fun. Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, for sure. It does feel like, you know, another planet is what I would say. But it's cool, you know. I think it's the kind of place that you need maybe a week to kind of like settle in, and ideally if you were here with a local to kind of show you the ropes, if you could have that integration, I think within a week it'd be like, okay, this is, you know, this is easy. I know how the basics work anyway. But when you first get here, and especially if you haven't traveled to a big mega city, like for sure it's gonna be intimidating. Like if you dropped off my mom or my dad here and just like told them to figure it out, like there's no way that they would be all right functioning in this city. So yeah, I think you kind of have to be an experienced traveler or going with a group or a local or something to, you know, help you. No thank you, no thank you. Oh, and my friend Brian is here. Thank you for coming out. Does Guangzhou feel like Tokyo at all, or completely different? Actually said exactly that. Somebody had asked me, like, had I been somewhere that reminded me of Guangzhou, and I would say like Tokyo would be the closest comparison. It's not the same, but you know, both mega cities, both super modern, both just, you know, chaotic but organized at the same time. So definitely some similarities. Just gonna give you guys a view. Gaode map. Oh, somebody else, yeah, had recommended that one to me. And it has English, for sure. Please let me know. Just reading your comments here, guys. Oh, I missed a super chat from the lovely Brianna. Thank you so much, lovely. Hello, sis. LTNS. Do I know what that means? I don't know what that means. Somebody please let me know. LTNS, but I'm going good and glad to see you smile. Warmth, hugs, and well wishes, Alina, on your journey. Thank you so much, beauty. I don't know what that stands for. My millennial brain is not computing. What does that mean? Long time no see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you so much, lovely. Hope you're doing well. Got another super chat here from Ali. Thank you so much. I don't think I see a message. It's kind of, there's like, it's blending my two messages together with that one, but I see a super chat from Ali. So thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
开直播吗？
It's quite popular here, actually, I think, to like stream in China. I saw actually quite a few other people, like locals, doing it and stuff. Yeah. All right, guys, let's keep moving on. I'm honestly so shocked how good the connection is. Is it me, or like, is this the best quality live stream that I've ever had? Because somehow like the picture on my end looks like a lot more sharp, you know, because on YouTube they are throttling us to 720, and let's be honest, it doesn't look the best quality usually. And then if there's any kind of network interruption, it's even a lower quality stream. But somehow on my end anyway, the picture looks really, really clear. And we haven't had any dropouts yet, so that's pretty cool. Okay, good. It's good quality on your guys' end as well. Amazing. Oh, this thing is kind of cool. I don't know if it'll do it now, but earlier this globe, when I was standing beside of it, it has some kind of camera around it too, so it was like mirroring, you know, our picture back to us. Yeah, so when you stand on this, it would mirror it back on the ball, but I don't know if it's going to do it now. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to do it. I think it might just be doing advertisements. But yeah, lots of different malls, lots of plazas around here. Oh, more foreigners. They've literally all come out of the woodwork. So in Japan, they call foreigners gaijins, right? Can anybody tell me what they call us here in China? Do they have like a name? Like Mexico, I guess, is gringo. What do they call us? I actually really like Japan's version, gaijin, because from my understanding, it directly translates to alien. And I mean, fine. It's like, I've been called worse. So I find that interesting that they would do that. Guelo, Lawai. Interesting. So a few people actually asked, I saw earlier too, okay, and Jet Lag Warriors asked, are you using eSIM or local SIM VPN for this live stream? Yeah, let me actually just answer that question for anybody who's thinking of coming to China. So actually, Jet Lag Warriors were the ones who gave me a lot of really good suggestions about coming to China. And initially I did get the Airlo eSIM, which I would say is probably your best choice for a China eSIM, like get the exclusively China one. And if you set it up before you leave, it should work right on arrival. So that's what I initially did. I'm so glad I did, because I absolutely needed to have access to the internet when I arrived. You guys will see why in my video vlog of my arrival. So that's what I initially did, and it was fine at first, but then yeah, on the third day is when I started running into a lot of connection issues. And even though they weren't big ones, I just felt like if I'm going to be doing live streaming, and I also use a crazy amount of data, right? Like I use like 60 gigabytes in a month easy with my work and live streaming. So 20 gigs on Airlo is $50 US. So I was trying to like limit myself with how much data I was using, but I know that before the end of the month I would have ordered another 20 gigabytes. So that would have been $100 US for 40 gigs, and not a great, for me, connection. So just this morning I went to China Mobile and I got initially a 20 gigabyte like prepaid card, but the guy was like, oh, we're having a special. I'm gonna give you a card for 60 gigabytes and then also another 20 for the same price. It ended up being 10 Canadian dollars for basically 100 gigabytes of data. And that is what I am currently using and why my connection is so good. But to do that, you would either have to get it at the airport, and I can tell you in Guangzhou, when I arrived after midnight, maybe before midnight they do have it, but there was no place to get a SIM card. And then here in Guangzhou, you would have to find like an actual office, you know, to sell you that SIM card. Maybe in Shanghai and Beijing you can get one right on arrival, but here in Guangzhou I would say make sure you have an eSIM when you arrive, because then, you know, you also need to have your Alipay on, so you really need to be connected when you arrive. But if you're staying here for longer, I would say yeah, it's absolutely worth it to go to an office and get an actual SIM card, because it's way less expensive and you have a much better connection. So I have both now, and yeah, mine is good for like 30 days, 100 gigabytes, 10 Canadian dollars, 7 US dollars. Very, very happy with that, because yeah, for sure, this is like the best video connection I have had on a live stream for quite a while. I did do my homework. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for acknowledging. I was honestly like, I was nervous about coming, primarily about, yeah, the fact of like, do I have everything before I arrive? Because some things you can't get after, right? It's like you can't download a VPN once you're here unless you have a connection like with a VPN. So if I didn't have that, not, at least not that I know of anyway. So if I didn't have like a live stream that, or a VPN that works, like I would have been in trouble. So speaking of VPNs, not all of them work. Like not all of them work, sadly. You guys know that I love Surfshark. I'm sponsored by Surfshark. I really wanted Surfshark to work, and I was supposed to have like a sponsorship come out with them this coming month, but it doesn't work here. I know it might work maybe, you know, in some places in China, but it doesn't work here. And so I messaged my rep at Surfshark and I was like, hey, you know, it's not working here and I don't feel comfortable, you know, promoting the product, you know, when I'm in China and it doesn't work. Like, is it okay if I skip this month and, you know, do it next month? And he said, yeah, no problem. Like, unfortunately, China is the one place where they struggle. And it's not just them, like it's so many of the biggest VPN providers like ExpressVPN, NordVPN, what's the other one? Like literally some of the most popular providers, the ones that are also the most budget friendly, and also honestly have some of the best security. Like I truly stand behind Surfshark. I love their product. I have used it everywhere. Oh, Jetlag Warrior said, our Surfshark worked in China, but we didn't go to Guangzhou. Yeah, see, exactly. So I think maybe it would work in some cities, but I can say for sure, without a doubt, not everywhere. So just keep that in mind. Really do your research about which VPNs, you know, work all over China. I asked my friends who live here, you know, which one they used. So they use vpn.ac, and that is one of the ones that I have that is working. And then also somebody else I know that lives here, he recommended Let's VPN. And that's the one that I'm using right now for this stream. And I am connected to a network in Hong Kong. So yeah, my connection right now is fantastic. I'm very, very happy with it. Let me flip here. Let's see here. Just reading your comments here, guys. Oh, really? Jetlag Warriors? Yeah, you can't even top up your eSIM in China, even with working VPN. Really? I thought you could top up Airlow. I saw like an option on my account because I was planning on doing it, but huh, interesting. Aw. Thank you so much to Rakul. Thank you so much for the super chat and very cute super sticker. Very much appreciated. I really appreciate all you guys who come to, like, you know, all of my live streams. It's so great to see so many familiar faces. So thank you so much, Rahul. Hope you are doing good. All right, guys. Wow, we're already like 50 minutes in and we've barely even covered this district. So let me flip the camera and let's keep on moving around. Shunk asks a good question. How many times have you paid in cash in China? So speaking of, yeah, how you pay here, almost everything is digital pay. There are some places that don't even take cash. And from my understanding, they don't take our foreign credit cards. Like, you for sure need to get Alipay and connect your credit card to it before you come here. 100% you need to do that. That's even more important than a VPN. But yes, a lot of places do take cash and you would just take it out on your ATM card at a bank. I went to HSBC and yeah, was able to take out a few $100s, no problem. And it was only when I was having a connection issue, like on my SIM card, that I was like in Family Mart, you know, about to pay for something, and then my connection goes out and, you know, they're waiting on me. So luckily I did have cash on me and was able to pay in cash. So I have paid all of once in cash while being here in Guangzhou. Oh, yes. Who was it that made the comment? Alex Oliveira made the comment of the streets are so clean. And yes, I agree that at least in this district, like there are some other districts where, okay, it's not this clean, but for the amount of people that are here, I think it is overall a very clean city from my first impressions. Like, for sure, to keep relatively like most of the trash off of the street, especially in almost like, you know, a party like pedestrian district like this, is very, very impressive. Oh, okay. You guys know how I feel about like freaking scooters on sidewalks. Those have been the freaking bane of my existence. Cause yeah, they are just reckless. Like that's literally, I think, your biggest threat here in Guangzhou and probably other parts of China is these damn scooters are just like reckless, going everywhere. And because they're electric, they can like sneak up behind you, right? Like you can't even hear the damn things coming. But super, super popular way to get around, and how all the delivery drivers like bring everything. So that would honestly be my biggest, you know, danger that I would warn you guys against, is all the electric scooters. There. Who was it that was asking about McDonald's? There you go. We got one right there. And the other thing that, I mean, it's not exclusive to Guangzhou. I mean, in Tokyo, things are open pretty late, but I've really liked being back in a city where things are open late. Bangkok was actually pretty good with that too, but I think things in Guangzhou are open even later than overall in Bangkok, other than like bars or something. And that's what I like. I hate when things like close down at 8 o'clock or something. This mall is really cool. I was actually just in there before the live stream, because one thing that I am looking for is a light, not expensive kind of shell jacket, because I have thermal wear now. I bought like a couple of thin heat tech ones from Uniqlo. I bought an extra sweater. So I have like warm layers because the next places that I'm going are a little bit cooler than Guangzhou, but I need like you know, something to seal it in, seal in the warmth. So I'm trying to find something for like under $20 that would do the job, and I have yet to find it. Yes, Melissa, a windbreaker, but with maybe just a bit more of a lining would be nice. Oh, wow. Jetty Nachos, if I'm saying that right. Hello from Yukon, Canada. Can't say I've ever had somebody from there on my live stream. That they announced from there anyway. That's awesome. Hello. Walk with Timmy says there seems to be no Western foreigners on the street. No, we saw like 12 of them, and that's a lot for here. So there are some Western foreigners, but no, I guess not a lot. Okay, a few people have asked about the air quality, and I'm probably not the best person to answer that question, because I've realized that I don't have the best sense of smell. I don't know if it's like a medical condition that I should get like solved, but like my nose almost always is like a little bit plugged no matter where I am. So yeah, I don't think I'm the best person to comment on it, because to me, I don't really smell that much. Like, of course, if it's super high congestion, I can smell that, but the small amount that I'm sure is here, because you can kind of see some, you know, pollution in the air. I don't personally smell anything. It doesn't really bother me. But yeah, for sure there is, I think, more, pollution than, let's say, Toronto or something like that. So if you're somebody who's really sensitive to that, yeah, you might not want to go to the big cities in China. It probably would be a good idea for you to go to the more like beautiful nature areas of the country where you don't have that problem as much. Hello from, if I'm saying it right, Zhongshan, 100 kilometers away from you, Horace. Thank you so much, Horace, fellow neighbor. Just reading your questions here, guys. Actually, now we've come to the part of the live stream that I hadn't decided before I started what I'm going to do from here. So this is up to the point that I had planned of where to go. And then I was like, should we just do a free-for-all? Should we just walk around and see where the wind takes us? Of course we should. Let's go this way. I see like a continuation of the nice mall, so I assume it'll still be kind of in this shopping district area. Things are actually a lot quieter than they were when I first got here at about 7 p.m. I think that was kind of the time that everybody's having dinner and stuff, so there was so many people in this area. It was just wild. It's good that at 9 o'clock it's not quite as crazy here. Well, actually it's 10 o'clock now. Oh shoot. Oh, it's 10 o'clock right now. Actually, it will start getting a lot quieter because the malls do close at 10, I believe. So yeah, that's why it's quieter. I probably won't live stream for too much longer then, because I do need to catch the subway, and it's going to take me about 40 minutes to get home. And the subway here, I'm pretty sure, closes at midnight, I think. So I guess I could probably walk home. Probably wouldn't be that dangerous, but I'd prefer to take the metro if I can. Jetty Nachos asks, have you visited any green spaces, parks, or any rooftops? There's some smaller parks in Guangzhou that I've seen, but there's one really big park that I meant to have on my list but wasn't able to go to, because unfortunately what ended up happening, literally the first day that I got here, the weather was perfect, like so nice, but because I just got here, like I wasn't ready to go exploring and filming and stuff, so that was literally the perfect day filming wise. And then the next 2 days it was like cloudy, overcast, and also started raining. So unfortunately, so many of the places that I had on my list I wasn't able to do to the fullest extent because of just bad luck with weather. And same with Canton Tower. That's like one of the top attractions, and that looks so cool because on the top of this like huge tower they have these little globes that like circle the perimeter of the tower. It's a bit expensive. It's like 50, 60 US dollars, but I was gonna do it. Like I was gonna do it to put into my video, but it was so overcast and you just wouldn't get a good view with the weather that we had. So I decided to just put it to the side and do it another time, because I do see myself coming back here, and $50, $60 is quite a bit to spend on just something that's not gonna turn out as well as I would have liked. So I think I need to come back. I need to come back to Guangzhou at some point. Just Two Dreamers Living Life asks what kind of vaccinations are required to visit China. Well, I mean, I didn't need to have any, but I guess it depends on the country that you're coming from. Like maybe they do have requirements. Probably if you're coming from South America, they're usually, unfortunately, the area of the world that gets some extra restrictions because they have, you know, more tropical serious diseases. So, you know, just make sure whatever country you're coming from that you don't need any vaccinations. But as a Canadian, and as I assume most Americans, I did not need any sort of vaccinations. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Robert Wilson. I just see it as a little like emoji kind of thing. I don't see any kind of message because my screen is being a little bit weird. So Robert, if you have a message in there that I'm not seeing, please just post it down below. But thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. Oh. Tomorrow the weather will be better. It's too foggy today. Well, tomorrow, unfortunately, I'm leaving. Tomorrow I'm getting on the train to the mountains, so it'd make me actually sad if the weather was better tomorrow, because that's, you know, the day I'm leaving and can't film anything. So, I mean, for the locals, I hope it's nice, but for me, it will have to be another time. Trees are so pretty, aren't they? Actually, guys, I probably should turn around here eventually because the train line I need is back the other way. And like I said, I don't want to miss my train or cut it close. So we're just going to get to this gate and then we can turn around. But yeah, as you can see, like, look, kids playing badminton, living their best life, couples walking around, plenty of, you know, from my experience so far, lots of women always walking by themselves, no problems. You feel very relaxed safety-wise. And overall, what I also like is that many places have, you know, very good lighting. You know, it's not really dark at all, you know, down most streets. So I think that's really important too, to have streets really well lit in big cities. Borton asks, are they speaking Mandarin or Cantonese, if you can tell the difference? I am not well versed enough to tell the difference. Maybe anybody who hears what people are saying in the live streams can let me know. But from my understanding, basically everyone in Guangzhou speaks Mandarin, as is the main language in China, but about 50% also speak Cantonese. And I'm sure maybe for those people, that's their like first language, but they also know Mandarin. I think to survive in China, you would have to know Mandarin. So even though Cantonese is popular here, I think Mandarin, from my understanding and what I've read, is still the dominant language. David asks, Alina, will you be visiting the Summer Palace in Beijing? No, like I mentioned before, unfortunately, I'm not going to the north on this trip just because it is too cold and a very big distance away. Like, basically, even if I was to take a speed train from, let's say, my last destination on the trip, which is going to be Lijiang, like that would take basically, I don't know, it might even take 24 hours, even with a really fast train. Like, it's a big distance, you know, it's not It's not somewhere you can just like pop from one place to another unless you're flying. I think from like Lijiang to Beijing, it'd be like a 3-hour flight maybe. So I think the north will have to be its own separate trip. No one locks their bikes. It must be safe here. Actually, I guess you're right. But I think, aren't these the electric ones that they have like a lock where it won't start unless you have a QR code? I think that might be the case. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe. Can any locals tell me that like, yeah, are bikes actually unlocked? Or is it the electric kind that you have to like scan some kind of QR code? Because most of the bikes that I see, they're all electric bikes here. That's actually another cool thing, is most of the bikes from my first impressions, they're all electric. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, they're like the shared bikes kind. ZG asks, is your dad with you on this trip? Don't see him with you. No, guys, he just made it back to Canada. Round of applause for Gordy Magoo. He basically did 3 months solo in Southeast Asia without my constant help. He should be very proud of himself for that achievement. But yeah, he just actually got back to Saskatoon like 2 days ago and is doing well. Thankfully, it's not too cold in Saskatchewan right now for the time of year, so he's doing well. Yeah, it is almost all electric. Like, I mean, that one's obviously, oh Jesus, hate the damn bikes. Yeah, if you guys can like, you know, hear, like, look, you can't hear it, right? It's all electric. It's not like Southeast Asia, right? Oh my God, like the motorbike sounds, like you can't get away from it. It's like constant noise pollution from the motorbikes in Southeast Asia. So that's, as much as I don't like the bikes here because they're on the damn sidewalk, at least they're quiet. At least you don't have the noise pollution that Southeast Asia has with traffic. So I'll give them that. All right. How do I get through here? Yeah. High-powered Beaver says, I'm impressed of China's infrastructure to support an all-electric society. Yeah, it is honestly very impressive. I don't think I've ever been in a city that had this level of like, you know, electric. It's also a lot of electric vehicles from first impressions, like not all the vehicles, but quite a few from the no sound that a lot of them make. Yeah, almost all the bikes are electric. I think most of the buses are electric. Trains, I actually don't know how they work, but are they electric? Maybe. I lost a super chat from who? Can you guys let me know? Oh, yes. Peter Lowe. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for whoever, I missed whose name sent it, but I didn't get a upper notification about the super chat. So, but I see it. Peter Lowe. Thank you so much for the very kind super chat for tomorrow's brunch coffee fund. Thank you for streaming. Thank you so much. I will absolutely make use of that because tomorrow I'm going to be on the train for 6 hours. And while I think more than likely they will be selling food on there, I'm going to get a good breakfast and a good coffee before I get on that train. So I will be using your super chat for that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to make sure I didn't miss another one. this stream has been amazing. I'm super happy with how it went, but weird things with some of the super chats, like some of them were like covered, I couldn't read them properly, and some of them didn't go up on my notifications thing, which was weird. But overall, guys, I want to say that this has been a great first live stream here in China. I definitely plan on doing another one while I am still here, and I'm just so happy that we had as good of a connection as we did. So thank you all so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have one more video of Sri Lanka coming out on probably this coming Wednesday, and after that we're going to get into the China content, and there's going to be a lot of content to come. So I hope you guys are psyched. This is definitely going to be, you know, different for my channel, so I hope you guys are excited. And as always, keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye guys. How do I, there we go.